The model I tried accompanied an 11th Gen Intel Core i7-1195G7 processor, which considers very fast processing rates en route, making it one more extraordinary productivity PC from Huawei. It merits bringing up that this laptop has now been prevailed by the Huawei MateBook X Pro, which includes an all the more remarkable processor for a speedier performance. I suggest looking at this survey prior to pursuing a last choice. All things considered, the 11th Gen rendition is as yet worth considering, if accessible at a limited cost. This is the way I continue to head with the Huawei MateBook X Pro. Design: incredible form quality, lightweight design, smooth frame. With regards to the pattern, the MateBook X Pro looks basically the same in design to the MateBook 60. The stylish is as yet suggestive of the MacBook Pro series, which is no terrible thing, as the MateBook series in general comes in as one of the most outstanding looking laptops that anyone could hope to find. The super slim screen bezel is significantly more slender, with a 92.5% screen-to-body proportion to provide ideal screen space, coming in at 1.38 kilograms. This is completely compact and can squeeze into most sacks. I've been hauling this PC around strictly throughout the previous 14 days, and I've never disliked it feeling excessively weighty or unmanageable, with the slight heave additionally causing it to feel sturdier than a few lighter laptops out there, similar to the Samsung Galaxy Book 2 Pro. Not surprisingly, the aluminum design is exceptionally impervious to smudge and fingerprints, which keeps the PC looking sharp. Along these lines as the MateBook 14 seconds, I would have gotten a kick out of the chance to see some more variety choices this time around. Yet the space dark shading is as yet an exemplary that looks exceptionally professional. Once more, I love the console. It sits at the ideal profundity for myself and is extremely responsive as well as being genuinely peaceful. Ostensibly, my number one part of this PC sits inside the trackpad. New touchpad motions permit you to change the volume, take a screen capture, and scour through a video or through text. The trackpad additionally comes to the edge of the skeleton, giving you more space to work with. In the event that you look all over the rightmost side, haptic criticism is set off, with the volume changing as you look all over. Scouring the highest point of the trackpad will move a media cut in reverse and advances, or move your cursor on the off chance that you're composing text. This is without a doubt one of the most mind-blowing parts of the laptop, as it smooths out your experience and makes quieting music or going through text endlessly more straightforward. Twofold thumping on the trackpad will likewise take a screen capture, which is a little extra, however improves things greatly during regular use. Moving on to the webcam. The 720p HD isn't the most keen camera that anyone could hope to find in a PC, however is completely functional, and I've never gotten any objections about my camera feed quality during Zoom calls. It likewise sits inside the top bezel rather than the console, which provides a really complementing point. As far as ports, I'm excited to find that the Usbc charging ports are presently situated on the two sides of the PC, with two on each side close by one 3.5mm earphone jack. Both the MateBook 14 seconds and 16 had two on a similar side, which could be irritating when it came to charging. The slim design precludes a USB or HDMI port, and keeping in mind that for some that may be a deterrent, I've not had any issues. What's more, in the event that you're desperate, you can constantly buy a separate connector. Addressing the sound, the 6 speakers inside the MateBook X Pro proposal up adjusted and balanced sound. I have been gorging the Encanto soundtrack, and the voices of each character radiate through obviously, with the high notes sounding fresh and not getting jumbled. Along these lines, I tracked down the PC to deal with activity motion pictures shockingly well, with enormous blasts sounding clear and great for a more modest PC. Lastly, the mouthpiece. The MateBook X Pro elements 4 receivers that permits your voice to be gotten regardless of whether you're genuinely far away. I've never gotten any objections that my voice sounded metallic or mutilated over Zoom. Screen, sharp display with 3120 by 2080 resolution. 3:2 makes productivity a breeze. Improves screen-to-body proportion. The MateBook X Pro is pressing a 14.2 inches display, with a refresh rate of 90 Hz which permits quick movement to look all the more clear, which can be helpful while rapidly looking down your virtual entertainment feed. Accompanying a 10-point multi-contact delicate screen, I could zoom into pictures and guides easily, with the touchscreen capacities proving to be useful when I was checking out at tables or huge pieces of text. While not an unquestionable requirement for a productivity PC, the consideration is defiantly valued, and I appreciate having the decision. The screen-to-body proportion sits at 92.5%, which is an improvement over the MateBook X Pro 2021, which sat at 90%. While an OLED would have been free to make it cutthroat, with the Dell XPS 13 OLED, particularly with its exorbitant cost point, The high 3120 by 2080 resolution keeps media looking sharp and definite, particularly contrasted with screens that are restricted to Full HD. To back up my episodic proof, I tried out the MateBook X Pro's screen quality with different industry tests. Utilizing a colorimeter, the Splendor scored a shocking 567.75, which is far over the 300 nit normal of the PC. Its disappointing performance at producing dull varieties pulls the difference down to 1,356 to 1. However, that is as yet an entirely good score. Performance: 11th Gen Intel chip is fast. Loads up in short order. No choice for a discrete GPU. The MateBook X Pro performed perfect during the computer chip testing, with fast processing speeds and no slacking at all, regardless of which task I was doing. The model I utilized accompanied an 11th generation Intel Core i7-1195G7 chipset. By, despite the fact that it would have been a reward to utilize the new 12th Gen Intel chips running on Birch Lake, the i7-1195G7 ran entirely well and kept everything continually moving along as planned. Yet, if having the most recent chipset is essential to you, I would exhort looking somewhere else. Clients likewise have the decision of utilizing performance mode, which supports the computer chip warm design capacity to 30 watt. I have dunked into performance mode now and again, and the improvement is perceptible, with significantly quicker boot up times and better performance by and large. Be that as it may, this element will likewise deplete battery quicker, so I'd suggest restricting its utilization. Huawei has likewise loaded the MateBook X Pro with a better-than-ever cooling framework, which I saw right away, as it runs significantly cooler than the MateBook 14 seconds. The organization guarantees that there is a 60% expansion in wind stream and a 100% increment with regards to warm scattering, which I believe is perceptible, as just the lower part of the PC warms up marginally while I'm working with many Chrome tabs open. In spite of its Pro moniker, the Huawei MateBook X Pro doesn't highlight a discrete GPU. That is a major issue for a PC costing this much. In the event that you're hoping to participate in 3D delivering or weighty video altering, you would probably be most attractive somewhere else, as the integrated GPU will have restricted power on offer. This isn't to imply that you can't play a few relaxed games or Photoshop, yet much else graphically requesting will push it. Moving on to the RAM and capacity. There depends on 1 terabyte of stockpiling and 16 gigabytes RAM, which is all that anyone could need for productivity work. The SSD dazzled, with a read score of 3,496 megabytes per second and a compose score of 2,697 megabytes per second. These scores meant a noteworthy speed while running or introducing programming to the actual drive. What's more, coming in to wrap things up, the MateBook X Pro came pre-installed with Windows 11 free of charge, which presented improved route and a general preferable encounter over Windows 10. Battery life arrived at 8 hours 43 minutes in our testing. Super quick USB-C charging. The MateBook X Pro has done a fair piece of movement at this stage and never let me down. In any event, when I totally failed to remember my charger, taking it to MWC was a genuine test, as it was getting whipped out continually without time for a charge, and it never dipped under 20% before I figured out how to charge it once more. During the PC Mark X office battery benchmark, the PC timed off following 8 hours and 43 minutes, which ought to be sufficiently long to help you through most assignments. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.